Yo, what is going on guys, it's Crimson. Today I'm bringing you guys my first Modern Warfare Remastered video. The gameplay you guys can see from the title is going to be 120 kills solo with the MP5 on Shipment. Nothing super special, obviously 120 kills on Shipment is actually quite easy to accomplish. If you've ever played Call of Duty 4, you would know that this map is definitely the easiest to get the most amount of kills on in a single match, and unfortunately in this gameplay I could have had way more. I was actually going up against quite some decent players. Two enemies on the opposing team actually had OG PSNs, and usually when someone has an OG PSN or an OG gamer tag, I assume they're going to be at least decent, so they actually killed me off of quite a few streaks, and I also don't even believe that I ended up getting a single helicopter throughout this match at all, and if I had maybe gotten one, I probably would have ended up with maybe 130 or 140, but regardless, this is still a decent gameplay for my first Modern Warfare Remastered video, so I'm going to go through my class setup real quick just in case any of you guys want to use it, although obviously I do know this game came out in 2007, and for those of you guys who have played it, you guys obviously know what class setups to run, but maybe some of you guys are new to this game, so I'm going to go through my class setup real quick, and then I'm going to go through my thoughts and opinions on Modern Warfare Remastered, so let me get right into it. So the class setup that I was using in this gameplay, as you guys can see, I'm using the MP5, and then I do believe my attachment was red dot. Now, a red dot normally I wouldn't run on any SMG in a previous Call of Duty, maybe in Hardcore and Black Ops 3 on the Weevil or something like that, but I actually decided to use the red dot just because I saw some people were using this on their own gameplays in Modern Warfare Remastered, so I decided to throw it on. I do believe you can only run a couple of attachments in this game on each weapon, so I was using the red dot. You could swap it out for something like the suppressor, but I just decided to use the red dot, and it helped me out in this gameplay. Obviously, I was pretty accurate with it overall. Now, my perks in this gameplay, or actually my secondary, I should go through that first. My secondary, not that it really mattered just because I didn't really use it at all in this gameplay, but my secondary was the USP-45 pistol with a suppressor, and then as you guys can see from my lethals and tacticals, I have a frag grenade on there with a stun as well. Now my perks, my first perk was C4 ×2, I believe. Now I would have normally switched that out. I don't really think I use C4 at all in this gameplay. Normally I would probably use special grenades ×3, so that would mean that I would have 3 stuns, just because stuns in this game are pretty overpowered and pretty good in my opinion. Stuns and flashes are pretty good. I'd say stuns, at least in my personal opinion, are a little bit better just because you can throw them faster, but I do believe you can throw flash grenades farther. I'm not entirely sure, but in my personal preference I prefer stuns. And then for my second perk I have stopping power, which is exactly similar to MW2's stopping power if you guys have ever played that Call of Duty. Basically it just allows you to kill faster, and I would have actually probably used Juggernaut in this gameplay, which you guys may think is kind of scummy, but on a map like Shipment, when I'm using an SMG, you don't really need stopping power just because you're running into so many enemies. You would probably be better off by using Juggernaut, so that's why I would probably have to use that instead. But in this gameplay I was using stopping power, and that's probably going to be the second best, or the best perk in the second tier slot throughout this entire game, either that or Juggernaut. And then my last perk, as you guys can see, is extreme conditioning, which I probably also would not have used just because it's Shipment. You don't really need extreme conditioning on such a small map just because you're running into enemies left and right. Basically every other corner you turn there's always going to be an enemy, so maybe I would have swapped it out for something like steady aim or something like that, just because I was hip firing quite a bit in this gameplay. So that's my class setup if you guys would like to use it, and now I'll get into my opinions on Modern Warfare Remastered. So overall, right away, I definitely do enjoy this game an absolute ton. The graphics are absolutely beautiful, and I've actually never played this game personally in its prime, so I'm not really used to it that much, but I do actually, I guess I'm familiar to this game is what I'm trying to say, just because I have watched quite a few gameplays on YouTube from Modern Warfare when it was first released in its past back in 2007, and I guess that can automatically make you sort of familiar to a game even if you've never played it in its prime, but obviously there's still quite a big difference from playing it to watching it. But I was kind of sort of, I guess, not necessarily used to it, but I sort of expected a couple of things here and there. But what I have noticed so far, which is one big thing, is I've noticed that a lot of people tend to camp. Obviously not in this gameplay just because it is the smallest map and people are going to be searching for as many kills as they possibly can get, but I've noticed on other maps, especially bigger maps, when everyone is using the M16, a lot of people are head glitching, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe just because they themselves haven't played this game either and they're not used to it, or maybe just because they're playing for a kill streak or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I have noticed quite a few people here and there are camping. It's not like an overload of camping or anything like that, but it is definitely there, and that's kind of annoying overall. But I'm sure people will start moving more and more here and there once they adapt to this game and get used to it, and once obviously we get used to it as well, just because at this point I'm still not used to this game. So I guess maybe it's either I'm going to have to get used to the campers, or the campers are sooner or later going to start moving. But then again, there are always going to be people who sit on head glitches and stuff like that. But overall, I am enjoying this game an absolute ton. Now, I'm wondering if I'm going to be playing this game just as much as Modern Warfare, or excuse me, as Infinite Warfare throughout the entire year, or if I'm going to be playing this game a little more or a little less. I think I may be playing it just as much as Infinite Warfare, maybe a little less, just because I feel as if this game sooner or later is going to get kind of boring, just because obviously it is an older Call of Duty. People are really familiar with this game, and you can only do so much on this game compared to Infinite Warfare. I do probably think that this game will be a better game and a more enjoyable game overall, just because it's a traditional Call of Duty, and the majority of the Call of Duty fan base prefers traditional Call of Duty over these new style futuristic Call of Duties with jetpacks and all that and the wall running, but I still think that this game will be quite enjoyable, and I think I'll be playing this just as much as Modern Warfare, or excuse me, Infinite Warfare. I messed that up again. But one thing that I did like about this game is they did add level 1000, in case you guys didn't know, to this game, just like Black Ops 3, or at least I'm pretty sure they did, just because they're basically hinting at it in the calling cards. You can get a calling card for hitting level 1000, I do believe, so I may be going for that if I have the time to, at least, just because I'm going to be playing Infinite Warfare as well. But overall, I'm definitely going to be creating a lot of content on this game along with Infinite Warfare. I may not post class setup videos or anything like that, just because, you know, this is almost a 10-year-old game and everyone has played this game before, at least quite a few people. I know there's always those new people to Call of Duty every single year. There's always going to be a new population and a new audience, so I may make some tips and tricks videos on this game here and there on how to level up quick or something like that, but I don't think I'll be taking the game like that serious when it comes to class setups or anything like that. I'm just basically going to be posting entertaining gameplays and, you know, creating good quality content in this game overall throughout the year. So that's basically going to be it for the video, excuse me. I hope you guys did enjoy the video overall. If you guys did, be sure to leave a like. If you guys are new to my channel as well, feel free to subscribe, feel free to leave a like, and I am out. Peace.